welcome back, everybody. Another episode of 2G's Bourbon Talk. I'm George. It's my dad, George.
Hello, everybody.
So tonight we're gonna review what? A couple, I guess you'd call them small batch bourbons.
Yeah.
First one we have is we're gonna do them right in line. No blind tonight. My wife talked us out of it, so we're just gonna reveal them and give you our true opinion on what we think of them.
Yeah.
So they're all, I don't want to say they're all new. The Jim Beam's new. The first one, like I said, is Jim Beam Winter Reserve. It's a new release for the fall.
Yeah.
The second one is Woodinville. They're out of Washington State. So two best friends in 2010 had a dream to start, a distillery. And of course, everybody has a dream to start a distillery, but somehow these guys got a bank in Woodinville to back them. I guess because it's a big wine country out there also, and there's a certain bank that's been backing these wineries out there forever, and they got lucky. And long story short, they started in 2010, still going now. One of their products, they're doing some good stuff. So they mash and distill everything in Woodinville, and then they truck it across the Cascade Mountains there in Washington over to what did I tell you it was before?
I just read that too.
Yeah, it's Quincy, Washington, and that's also where they built their rick house. Is also on the the Omlin family farms is where they get all their grain from. It's all basically farm to glass. So that's where their rick houses are, and that's where they get all their grain from. So, and that's where they barrel and age over there in Quincy. I think it's 100-some miles away, so it's a pretty good trek. And then the next one we're going to do is the Green River. They were recently, I guess they recently just fired back up. Well, they were shut down for a while. Then they fired. That's one. They have some of the oldest rick houses in Kentucky for bourbons and whiskeys. But they were bought. I don't know if they were bought. I guess you could say they were bought by Barnstown. So they're doing a lot of good things. I've never had it. You've never had it.
No.
They say that this is just their regular small batch bourbon. They say that their cask strength is really, really good. It's only a $50 bottle. It's supposedly phenomenal. But I don't know. I figure we'll try them and in order, and then we'll talk about them a little bit more. And
this is what, a 6-year?
Yep. So go ahead. You ask whatever you want. So yeah, that's a 6-year.
This one?
That's no less than 5 and no less than 5.
Oh.
Okay,
So that's a pretty good price for a 6-year.
I would say if that Jim Beam Winter Reserve turns out to be anything at all for $24.99, that's a pretty good buy.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a 6-year, so I don't know if eventually they're going to, like next year, come out with a 7-year for this release every fall. I don't know how they're going to do it. I haven't really heard. So, and it's an 86 proof, which that's the only thing that really hurts it. It's only 86 proof. So it's it's lacking a little bit. And then these are just 90. So the Woodinville is 90, and that Green River is also 90. So yeah.
I picked mine up Friday night last week. I had to open it up when I got to my truck.
Well, that's not legal.
Just to try it.
Hey, Jamie asked me when I went in there, she's like, "Oh, why didn't your dad just pick you up a bottle when he was here?" I said, "That's a good question, Jamie. I'm not sure why he didn't pick me up a bottle while he was there."
Because you said you was coming up.
Yeah, no, I did. I was going up that way anyways. But, I don't know, you ready to start?
I'm ready.
trying them and see what we think. And like I said, the reason I wanted to do a blind, and I always want to do a blind, is because that's how you get your most accurate, I guess you could say, reading. But yeah, your accurate picks on which one you think's the best. This way, you think you know which one you think's the best, but in a blind, it might be completely different, right?
Yeah,
We've learned that
Yeah.
so many times over again, right? So, so Josh Shoemaker, he called me last weekend. He wanted to know he was up at his campground, just to change the subject real quick before we get started. I think he's up around Lake George, New York, upstate New York, is where they camp. He was in a liquor store. He called me. He's like, "Hey, I'm in this liquor store. I've been trying to find stuff, $25 to $35, $40, somewhere in that roundabout way." He was naming off some stuff, and I'm like, "Nah, I don't get that. No, I don't get that." And he said, "What about Rittenhouse Rye?" I said, "Yeah, get that. That's $29, $30. Get that." So I don't know how he liked it. I haven't heard from him. So if you're watching the show, hit me back up, Josh, and let me know what you thought about my choice that I gave you for your weekend sipping whiskey, I guess you could call it, since it's a rye. So, and it's a bottom blonde. It's good, and it's fairly cheap. So, but anyways, back to what we're doing. Revealing these three, bourbons. Do you want to talk about the mash bills as we're going? You want to just as we go? You ready to go?
I'm ready to
Okay,
go.
I thought so. You're getting antsy over there. I can see it. These are pretty heavy tonight too, huh?
Yeah, well.
Holy moly.
Her arm was shaking too much, she said.
Okay, well, I'm getting a good nose on this. I'm getting some vanilla. I'm definitely getting some cinnamon.
Oh, yeah.
And I get a look on the nose. I'm getting quite a bit of rye spice. If I had to guess, Jim Beam has two different mash bills. I would have to say this is probably their high rye mash bill, which is probably 27% rye. I would say it's got to be, if you're asking me. That's where you're getting the clove and the cinnamon from.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the cinnamon.
Oh, and I left something out. This is not only aged for 6 years, it's also toasted, put in a separate toasted barrel for a couple months after that, is where they're probably pulling some of their sugars and stuff out of. I mean, my initial thoughts are, wow, $25
Yeah. Yeah.
for a 6-year-old that tastes like that.
A lot of vanilla. Tastes a lot of vanilla.
And I know people watch the video and they know we're big Jim Beam fans, but we have not, like I said, we don't have nothing. We don't have to say it's good if we don't like it, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, pretty much whoever's doing saying what they're tasting and their nose on these fruit fly, can't get rid of them. They're pretty spot on, I would say, because you get the vanilla. I get a lot of cinnamon, to be honest with you, and that clove you get on the palate, on the back end of the palate.
That's very good.
So it's like I said, it's a 6-year, and then it's thrown in new toasted barrels. I forget how long they said, but it might even go in one and then go into another, and then go into the vat, their tank. But
what's a toasted barrel?
So what they do, it's not a char. It would be like a level 1 toast. So they just toast it. So a lot of times they'll char the centers, the center of the barrel, the staves, okay? And then they'll toast the top and the bottom, the barrel head and the barrel bottom. Is how some people, like these guys, that's what they do. When we get to them, we'll talk about that a little bit. But so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, people that source whiskey from other distillers. They have to come up with some kind of different thing they want to do to make theirs unique from the other person that's using 95.5 rye from MGP. So people do all kinds of crazy stuff. So they'll put it in like up to 10 different barrels for a day to hours to weeks. You know what I mean? It's just and I'm sure it's all good. Like,
Yeah.
just because it's sourced from like Kentucky or Indiana or Tennessee, I mean, doesn't mean that you're not making it. You don't know what you're doing. Most of these guys that are sourcing and aging somebody else's distillant, they know what they're doing. They got it.
Yeah.
They got it figured out. They've been doing it for years. So, but yeah. Do you want to move on to the next one?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, the Woodinville. So, like we said, there's a big story. There's more to the story. I don't know. We don't need to get into all of it, but so they're barrels. All right. So before they char them, before they do anything to them, they sit out in the elements for up to 24 months, up to 2 years. Rain, snow, sunshine, whatever. And I think that, makes them unique, obviously. And not only that, I think instead of soaking the inside of the barrels to get them to absorb what you want them to absorb, and not leak, it works the same way on the outside. So, and they char their own barrels, they toast their own barrels, they do everything. And did I say about the so they're like grain to glass, the Omlin farm, family farm is where they get all their grains from. It's right there in Quincy where they have their rick houses and stuff. So, but other than that, it's a 90 proof. It's their first release ever. That was their staple. Not now, but it was when they first released their bourbon. That was their 5-year. They have nothing lower than 5-year except for their rye. Their ryes, I think, start out like 2 and 3 years, and then they go up from there. But anyways, if you want, we'll try to get into this one a little bit. And like I said, these are all small batches. There's no single barrels, no nothing. So, while we're drinking this, Dave Pickerel from Maker's Mark. Mm-hmm. So when these guys were starting on in 2010, he was just getting ready to retire from Maker's Mark. Somehow, some way, they talked him into coming out there and teaching them two fellows that started this distillery everything that he knows about bourbon. And they said that he never he loved it because they didn't know anything about it, so therefore they had no bad habits. They didn't try to change anything he was telling them. They just went along with everything, and they said it just worked out completely perfect. So that's having some dude like that come out and help you start a distillery. That's big, right? I mean, he's was a master distiller for Maker's Mark for probably 30 years. Wow, I get a lot on those of that too.
Yeah.
I get some dark chocolate.
Absolutely getting chocolate.
Caramel, chocolate. I'm getting some cherry, maybe some cherries. Maybe it's a chocolate covered cherry.
Yeah.
So we'll see here what's going on.
That's smooth.
It's really good. I mean, I will say, these being 90 proof and 86 proof and stuff, you can tell, right? You don't have the mouth feel that we're used to. Usually we're trying some you know, higher proofs. But
Oh
so for me, the ends on these kind of fall off a little bit, but for what they are, for a $25 for the Jim Beam and $39, $40 bottle for the, you know, the Woodinville, and the $37 bottle for the Green River. I mean, we haven't tried that one yet, but I'm still assuming if it doesn't win everything, it's going to be in there somewhere, right? So
yeah.
this one's really good, right? The nose on it,
Yeah.
that dark chocolate and cherry to me is phenomenal. Little dog bark, Milo, senile. So if you had to pick out of these two so far, what one would you pick?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I really like them both, but I think I have to take a Woodinville.
Woodinville.
Woodinville. I think I'd have to take.
So
that.
what are you getting on the mouth on that, like the palate? Like what do you? Because I'm
I'm
not.
getting the caramel.
I kind of just got a little bit of chocolate just now, just like after at the end of it, but
Absolutely getting some chocolate there on the end. Yeah, absolutely.
is there some? There's something else there. Is it vanilla?
Yeah. That's, yep.
Yeah.
There is some
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, this is just their staple. You know, I mean, that's their 5-year blend or small batch. I guess I was telling you earlier, they have an 8-year out right now. That's probably as old as their stuff is, I would say. And they're doing some special releases, like I also told you, what did I tell you? An applewood finish.
Yeah.
They have an applewood finish, I know. I think they have a port finish. And there's something else. I can't remember. But I don't know. For what I just got out of that one, I'm impressed with Woodinville from being from Washington.
Where'd you get that in Williamsport?
Oh, yeah, Williamsport. Fine Wine Good Spirits. They have that one, and then they have the apple one online that you can buy. But it's a little pricey.
Yeah.
It's up in the $100 range. Which I don't really, until I really get into this one here a little bit more, I don't think I'd spend the money on something like that. Right?
No, that's well worth the 30.
Well, it's 42 with tax is what it was. So still right in the same level. I mean, I think it's good, but to be honest with you, the price point of the Jim Beam Winter Reserve, I don't think it really overtakes it.
No.
For the price range.
Yeah, if you're doing it that way, yeah.
Well, that's why I kind of figured we'd do these lower price bourbons just to see where they were and see which one we thought was. You know, I guess you could do it 2 different ways. You could pick your best, and then you say, well, that's the best, but is it really better than that one? It almost, say $15 less?
Yeah.
Just say 10 for shits and giggles, right? But yeah. So I don't know. I like that one a lot. So we're gonna move on to the Green River, and this is their just straight bourbon, small batch, and it's no less than 5 years.
Well, this has been around a long time.
Yeah, they've been around a long time. That it's actually like the 3rd or the 4th oldest in Kentucky. The Green, but it's real small, and that's why they started doing a lot of better things now that Barnestown bought them, because they have more backing. You know what I mean? But their barrels are out there. People have been sourcing their barrels in the blenders and shit. They've been sourcing their stuff for years and years. So they got all kinds of stuff out to other people. I know the Bourbon Junkies. I think they use some Green River. They also use some Sagamore. They got some MGP, some Barnestown, stuff like that. But I don't know.
Nose on this.
We'll try this one out. This is a 90 proof for 2. Like I said, 5 years. Heard a lot of good stuff about it. I heard their cask strength is phenomenal out of this world for $50. And you don't get that. You know what I mean? Where are you going to get a cask strength 120 proof or whatever it is for $50?
Yeah.
Oh wow! And so these, as I say that these are all high rise.
Yeah.
So this mash bill here is 72 corn, 22 rye, and 6 malted barley. And then the Green River is 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley. So they're all high rye, which we like.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm getting honey. Getting some honey. Some vanilla. And maybe some fruit. Is there fruit in there? Like a... I don't even know. I don't know what it would be. I think I got them.
Awesome.
Thanks.
That one's
Wow.
really good.
Is there citrus on the palate of that?
Yep.
Like orange and...
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Oh, that's really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish I knew what that just was I just tasted.
Mm.
It's almost like a really bright, citrusy... Man, you get that rye. I get the rye, a little bit of rye, high rye mash bill for sure.
Wow. Very good.
Okay. On that one, I get more of the brown sugars and
The caramel.
I get a lot of brown sugar, and then there's some kind of a citrus fruit in there I'm getting. And look how much more, like, look how you're getting the streams from the oils on that. They must have some older stuff in there, is what I'm guessing. It's no less than 5, so it could be mostly 6 or 7 year. You know what I mean? And then have some 5 in it. It could be. But when you're looking at it, I mean, to me, you get more of them. What's it called? I call it the Graham's her oil lamp that she used to have. That's what it looks like. How the streams of oil back in the day run down the strings, the fishing strings or whatever, fishing line. Yep. That's a good one.
Very good.
I don't know which one I like is my favorite yet. I'm going to go back through and then I'm going to try to pick a favorite. I think they all win.
Yeah.
For the price point, to be honest with you.
They're all very, very good.
So anybody that's watching, you can't go wrong with any of them. Like I said, everybody knows we're Jim Beam people, so I would stick up for the Jim Beam being at $25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For what that is, wow, it's just phenomenal. And people that are just getting into bourbon and whiskey, these are perfect examples of what to try. Because you got your lower proofs.
If they can get this one they're going to get.
Well, I mean, like, around our area, these should be able to.
Fall, you will.
I think that State College is going to get more of this. I think Blockhaven might even start getting some of this stuff. It's on the site, so now Green River. I would love to try that cask strength. I might just buy it, order it. And they have a rye too that's supposed to be really good. I wouldn't mind trying that.
Yeah, I'd say that Green River's been around a long time.
I'm gonna go back from the beginning here. I'm gonna start with the old winter reserve here and see. Oh yeah, I get a lot of cinnamon, which is perfect for what it says it is. It's a fall release.
Yep. That's what I say. Once spring gets here, you probably won't be able to get this one unless it's just what they have left over. So I don't know how much of this they're producing.
That's really good for what it is. I told you I actually tried this with a old fashioned with a big sphere ice cube. It just gets watered down too much with a big ice cube. It's only like I said, 86 don't stand up. The hundreds are a little bit better for that. You know what I mean? Let me try this Woodinville here again.
That chocolate really comes out.
It does, and they say that they attribute that to a little bit of how they season their barrels is what they're saying. They get that chocolatey flavor, but yeah, I just got that chocolate on the back end again on the palate, way at the back. But it is there. It's more like a dark chocolate cocoa or something like that.
Well, me would like that.
Yeah, well,
She like dark chocolate.
Let me get this Green River another shot here. Oh man, that reminds me a little bit of like a Sagamore to me. You get that rye spice. Not Blanton's, no.
No.
No Blanton's on that.
It's a little lighter than the other two.
You think it is?
I think so, yeah.
As far as like mouthfeel?
Yeah.
See, I don't think it is. I think it has more depth than the rest of them. Yeah.
I kind of like this one for the overall taste.
Really? Well, I mean,
Hey.
it's the more expensive one. I like how they're using that almond family farm there for all their grains and shit, and then they build all the rick houses right there on the farm.
Yep. Well, I think if I had a favorite, I think it would be
I'll tell you what I think. I mean, you tell them what you think, and I'll tell them what I think.
I think this one.
You think that's your favorite out of all of them?
I really like number 3 too.
Yeah. I think it's really close. But the thing that isn't close is the price range on the first one, on the Jim Beam. And I think I give this one the win overall for the price point. If I'm going to say, if we're doing for like budget wise, so if anybody can get this, I'll get it and try it because I think it's going to turn into something big with them. I think they're going to do it every year. I have a feeling it's going to get older every year. So hopefully it does. And yeah, I don't know. I would say my favorite overall would probably be the Green River. And then, I mean, the Woodinville is really good too.
They're all really good.
And in the Jim Beam for the price and the taste, it's a win too. They all won. Tonight they all won, honey.
I think so. Yeah.
So, what do you think? You ready to shut this down, or
Yeah.
go ahead and make your infinity glass there and show everybody what you do every week?
This is my
And,
infinity drink.
Listen, we appreciate everybody watching our content. We're getting more views. We need everybody to hit the like button, man. The like
Thumbs
button
up.
helps us a lot move along in our journey, which we want to do. We want to be able to help everybody, reveal more whiskeys and bourbons. And if anybody has anything they want us to try to get and reveal, just hit us in the comments, and we'll try to do the best we can. We appreciate everybody that's watching and supporting us. And we had fun tonight, right?
Absolutely.
Great bourbons,
Yes, very
small
good.
batch bourbons.
Yeah.
So everybody have a great Friday night, and everybody God bless.
Night, everybody.